What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Yesterday, I was on Facebook when I was tagged to a post written by a young lady by the name of Eartha Hopkins over at the Grio. And the Grio is a very popular blog. It focuses on, the black community, if you will. It's owned by, I think, Byron Allen. And, it focuses on, your typical type of stuff, white supremacy, things happening in Black America entertainment, kind of like the Atlanta Black Star or The Root, very similar. But there's a hit piece on Kevin Samuels. And the Grio calls him a pseudo love guru who exploits the vulnerability of black women. Okay? And while they do agree that that his platform offers a much needed conversation addressing women's accountability in relationships, but he reinforces anti-blackness, okay? And that Kevin Samuels only uses Anglo-Saxon ideology, using black women as an easy scapegoat. Now, now how can they prove this? There are certain categories in which they allege that he does this. Now, I'll go over them right now. First is the unrealistic expectations that he sets for high value men, the objectification of women, misogynoir, toxic masculinity, and false expertise, internalized hatred. I mean, all of these are opinions. These are not facts, but opinions. But the first thing I will start with is unrealistic expectations. Now, he says that a high value man is this, described by 6 principles: a man's ability to make $10,000 a month for 5 years. Actually, it's 2 years, I believe. The acceptance from other group of high value men, access to network, high visibility, and utility of that group. Okay. Now, he's saying that it's an unrealistic aspiration of seeking a black male partner who makes $814 a week. Not to mention incarceration rates for black men are double that of white men. It's nearly impossible for these men to qualify for the remaining principles. Stop the show. But see, here's the situation. How many black women are saying that they want the average black man? See, this is the problem. When he says that a man should have this, it's unrealistic. When women say that black men should have this, it's the norm. Okay? Like if a woman is a single mom with 3 kids by 3 different guys, and she says she wants a man that Kevin Samuels has described without mentioning women, nobody says it's unrealistic. If he says this is unrealistic, then what she's saying is, his definition of what a high value black man is unrealistic, which I believe for many men is a standard to try to reach. Which if I'm a black woman, I would think this is great, because here you have these guys that are trying to earn $120,000 a year for 5 years to be financially stable and work with men in their group. But but if Kevin Samuels says that, it's unrealistic. But that's the whole point of Kevin Samuels' show. How did he get to fame? Well, he became very popular because he was exposing the unrealistic expectations that black women had of black men. This is why he's popular. It's not black men that have the unrealistic expectations of black women. See, if black men have high expectations of one another, it's unrealistic. But that doesn't make any sense. That's why it's high value. Okay? He's not talking about the average man or the guys in jail. That's why it's high value. Does she even understand what she's writing? That's why he's talking about this is what separates you from the other guys in the community, that you're a top 1% and the other guys are not. That's the whole So it's not unrealistic because you have guys who hit this number. That's what Kevin Samuels talks about. This is what the guys in this particular group achieves. This is what they want. Okay? So anyways, that's the first thing. Objectification of women, okay? Now, he ranks his guests to the sexual marketplace value based on height, weight, dress size, and physical features, right? He called one woman, so she's like Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, okay? So the objectification of women, which is interesting, because what's the problem when women do it, okay? Because everybody objectifies something. If you're a woman, you don't want a man that is broke, that is dusty, okay? But the sexual marketplace value is based for men, if you're good looking, if you're in shape, if you're tall. The same thing is different from, there's no difference for men and women. Women objectify men. Also added to that is your financial status. If a woman is overweight, if she is unattractive in certain ways, for a guy who makes $10,000 or more a month, she has usually a lot of competition, not only from black women, but from other races of women. This only makes sense. If you look at guys in Hollywood that have a lot of money, what kind of women are they dating? Very beautiful, typically very in shape women. But when a man wants a black woman to look a certain way, he's objectifying her. When she wants a man to look a certain way, she's never objectifying him. Okay? The next thing, misogyny or misogynoir. Okay? Now, he leaves black women open for his attack. Okay? Not acknowledging white supremacy as a driving force behind this device. Stop the show. Black women are, when it comes to talking about like not acknowledging white supremacy, again, black women are heavily democratic, okay? And the Grio is one of those racism websites. Like, if that's the case, why are so many black women are democratic then? Which I'm pretty sure that she is, okay? And the issue is this. It's always about white supremacy. What Kevin is talking about has nothing to do with white supremacy. It's about what men, black men that have a lot of money, or men in general, want. Okay? It has nothing to do with Eurocentric nothing. Kevin Samuels rarely talks about white people, if at all. He's talking about black issues. Now this one, okay, toxic masculinity. All right? He serves the Uncle Ruckus vibes on platter, using every statistic he can find to direct his own internalized self-hatred. That's an opinion, because if he has stats that prove what he's trying to say, then it's numbers. Numbers lie, people don't lie. I mean, people lie, numbers don't. So if he says that black women are leading in, obesity or STD rates, then if there's a stat, then what it is. Like if you were to say black men are leading in the prison system, then you'd be right. False expertise. He's claiming expertise on a topic that he's clearly unqualified to address. Okay. No background in marriage and relationship therapy, psychologically generated issues or stuff like that. Okay. Now, if you want to say it from that educational background, fair enough. But here's what I want to say. How many black people, like Dr. T.S. Johnson talked about, he went to relationship therapy, marriage counseling, from the same people you're complaining about, right? Because this lady went to Ohio State, which is owned by white people, the white education system, okay? And he said that the marriage counseling for his particular relationship was heavily favored towards women, which ended up destroying his marriage anyway. Shout out to Dieter Rell, who's a therapist, and he says the same thing. It's never catered for the black experience. So even if he is not trained on this, clearly people who have education may not be trained to deal with issues, especially when it's coming from the man's point of view. Okay? So you might have that, yet he's not trained on that per se. But, internalized hatred, I'm not even going to that because that's just an opinion you can't prove. Bottom line is Kevin has worked with more African American people, okay, united more black people than any of his critics are aspiring to talk about. Flat out. He's done more in black social media to get the conversation started and bring black men and black women together. I fully support him. I vehemently disagree with this article. Although she has a right to her opinion, I don't have any, issue with her. But this sounds like a lot of emotion and not a lot of thought behind it. You're just writing based on how you feel, but there's no real logic behind what she's saying, okay? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high.